Hello, I'm Nathan.
And I'm Jody, and this is Word on the Web.
And as we promised with this podcast, we are going to answer questions. And one of the questions we get most is, what is the difference between the shelter that we currently have and the new location, the new campus?
I love that question because the shelter that we're currently in, our 10,000 square foot warehouse, it has been a lifesaver for many, but it limits what we can do and how we provide shelter and services. And one of the things about this shelter is it's not big enough to serve everyone all day and all night. And that's where the emergency shelter comes from. That's a building that can deliver shelter and services by night. And then in the morning, everyone is asked to leave because there's no space. So the new building on State Street is more of a campus. And it's designed with the idea of housing first. And that means that when you're a guest at this new campus, there are spaces for you by day and by night. There's no like, hey, get up at 7 a.m. and everyone out of the building.
Right.
And if you're staying with me, you don't have to wait till 4:30 to get on a wait list to come back in this building because you're already a guest here. And so that means you can navigate through your day, do our programs, have breakfast, lunch, dinner. There's a day shelter for adults. There's an early education classroom for children. There's space on the backside. And so really we can keep you comfortable and stable. Yeah. But if you want to leave or you need to leave, that's so important because it's not a prison.
Right.
It is a campus with dorms that have all kinds of resources on the property, but you also might need to go to work. Right. You might be going to school. You might need to go to the bank. And you don't have to limit your ability to get access back into the shelter.
Come and go based on your routines, your needs.
Exactly. Right. And that's where Housing First comes in.
It's a big difference.
It's a huge difference.
As you were talking, I was thinking about the word shelter. It is so entry level. It is minimal services provided. And what you just explained is so much richer. The programming, the support, the care and attention.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I think if you were looking at like the most significant word in the new campus is stability.
Okay.
Not having a place to be all day long. It is so traumatizing.
Right.
And so any work that we might have been able to do the night before with you, the minute you have to go back out onto the street to figure out where your meals are coming from, how you're going to the bathroom, if you could take a shower, what are you going to do with your stuff? That is a full day.
That is instability.
Right. And so then when someone says like, well, why aren't they getting clean and sober? Well, why aren't they taking care of their mental health? Well, why aren't they getting employed? Because they don't have a space to get safe and to start to imagine a different life for themselves.
They just have these moments of stability, but they're not tied together.
Right.
So I can imagine the recovery, the healing, the whatever that individual is experiencing is also fragmented.
Yeah. Shelter is so important, but it's not enough. And what Interfaith Sanctuary learned through our time in this building, and also when we were able to raise up the hotel shelter because of COVID funding, it allowed us to see the difference between what we are able to do in this building and that hotel where people could stay 24/7. Right. They had their own spaces. We were able to manage their medical needs. We had consistent care. People were safe and stable. And so the momentum in which we were able to improve their situations and get them into housing was staggeringly different than how we do the same work within this emergency shelter. So that is what inspires. Like, it's not just about shelter. Interfaith hasn't been just about shelter in so long, but now there's actually a building that allows us to deliver it all in such a dignified way, and it creates the sense of home.
Love that. That's the goal, right? So stability, a sense of a place of belonging, and an opportunity to reprogram a little bit of
Yeah.
what's going on in their lives.
Yeah.
So,
And, when I say that it's their home, like people might imagine, like I do get this question. Well, if you make it too nice, if you make it too comfortable, what's going to inspire them to move on? And that's a really important understanding that, yes, we're giving them this beautiful new space, but there are conditions to staying in that space. You do not have the same kind of independent living that you will eventually get when we are able to get you into housing of your own. You are forced to live among a very large group of people.
Right.
You do not have the freedom of time. We have a curfew.
yeah,
If
it's a
you're-
regulated.
It's very
Lifestyle, yeah,
regulated.
yeah.
There's behavioral requirements to be able to be in our programming. People need to feel safe.
Yeah.
And so if you're not able to behave in a certain way and we're not able to regulate that or manage that, then we can't have you within this programming.
Right.
And so it's hard work to learn how to live with so many different people going through so many different things. But we believe that the new building will actually de-escalate so much of that. It will make the work even better for our staff and for
Right.
all the guests involved. But there are conditions to being part of, this population. And no matter what people think, no one wants to live in a shelter.
Right.
They want to get into housing of their own. They
Right.
just need the stability to be able to do it.
Anything else come to mind as we answer that one question for today?
Well, I think it's a really important question, and I'm glad we cleared it up. I think for those who are interested and seeing the difference, I think volunteering
Oh, yeah.
or going on a tour of the new building
For
are
sure.
really good ways to engage and understand at a much deeper level. So if you are interested in kind of seeing how Interfaith Sanctuary operates today in our current building, and then if you want to go and see this reimagined shelter, it will make so much sense.
It changes everything.
It changes
Your whole
everything.
perception of the services and this elevated,
Yeah.
campus approach.
Yeah.
I look forward
So,
to that.
yeah, and hopefully we answered this question well enough. If we didn't, we have an email address that you can
Yeah.
send either clarifying questions, or if you have another question that is kind of wanting an answer, then that's what we're here for. So let us know how we're doing by emailing wordontheweb@interfaithsanctuary.org.
Okay. And with that, we'll see you next week.
Thanks
Thanks for
Nathan.
joining us.
Thank you.